Hello, Taurus, sun, moon, rising, or anywhere else where it fits in your chart. And to any cross-watcher watching, welcome to you too. My name is Alyssa. This is my channel of New Direction. And this is a reading for September 1st to the 15th for the Tauruses. Couple housekeeping things before we get into it. I am outside. I do apologize if we are interrupted. I have a pretty busy family, so sometimes that happens. I cuss a little bit, so if that's a big no-no for you, there's your heads up. There's your warning. Okay, so we are going to start with pulling energies here from the Energy Oracle deck. What else did I want to say? I feel like I had other things to say. Maybe not. I'll remember it later. All right, let's just get into this then. My brain's all like blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, Taurus, my grounded friend here. Let us see. Current state for the Taurus. Current state of the Taurus. Oh, anxiety. Well, that's interesting, isn't it, Taurus? Anxiety. The shadow of the Taurus here. What's the shadow of the Taurus here? Ooh, cornucopia. You guys anxious that you're not going to get your goodness? What's the light here? The light to embrace that. Ooh, the patience. You just got to be patient, Taurus. Energy of the divine feminine. Oh, wow. Healer of ages. Look at that. He just keeps coming out. Healer of the divine masculine here. Sorry, energy of the divine masculine. Door to romance. Action required. Action required here for the Taurus. Action required here for the Taurus's spirit. Door to value and the heart chakra. Advice is flying all over the place. The guarded in the gate and the lesson. What's the lesson here, Spirit? The lesson for the Tauruses of this cycle. What is the lesson? Oh, 2. Temple path and appreciation. Wow. Look at that. On the bottom of the deck is the caring connections and the sun. With hostility and a woman holding her heart behind that. Heartbreak, passion, contract, storm warning. Oh boy. Taurus, 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 Taurus. Caring connections to the sun. These are caring connections that you are wanting a lot of fulfillment from. Wanting happiness. I get that. All right, current state here. Let's see. Anxiety. Why are we anxious here, Tauruses? Anxiety is about worrying. Anxiety is about worrying about the unknown here, right? And when that's our current state, it does take a certain amount of faith, to be able to go through our lives and look at the unknown and not be afraid of it. And I mean, for all of us, no matter where you are on a spiritual journey, at one point or another, we do come up with the things that we do fear. That is part of soul growth. So don't ever be like, oh, I just can't get over this, or, oh, I'm so far behind, the growth of the population. Well, right? That doesn't matter. Anxiety, there is fear in our lives that is hard to get over. There are things that, come up that we focus on. The worrying, the fear, the negative energy that we focus on. And it's hard to see the lightning bolts happening outside. It's hard to see, the other ideas and the other kind of thoughts that are coming in outside when we are just so focused on the pain at hand. The King of Wands, look at that. It's hard to focus on our steady being. It's hard to focus on who we are. When we are worrying about things, whatever that looks like in your life, you're going to probably acknowledge the things that, you are struggling and worrying with right now. But when we worry about showing up to our steadiness, to our King of Wands, to our solid spiritual being. And when I say spiritual being, that doesn't necessarily mean showing up, as a religious being, but showing up with the strength behind you, the solidness within you. Okay, this King of Wands shows up, and when he shows up solid in his knowing. He shows up solid, not only in the outer being that he is, but the inner being that he is, because he's confident in himself. Okay, and not a boastful kind of confidence. He is just so steady. Okay, he is so steady with himself. He acknowledges that. So his fears, and he knows that, okay, I can overcome whatever anxious worrying there is. The King of Swords, yeah, look at that, because he's clear. The King of Wands and the King of Swords. This anxiety, whatever this is, it's almost as though you are focusing on energy that if you would just be solid within yourself here, you would ultimately know the clarity of the action needed. Okay? For some of you, this could be very much talking, about two masculine powers here kind of coming to a head. For whatever reason, this just kind of caught my attention, the caring connections, the anxiety, and then a masculine King of Wands and a masculine King of Swords kind of coming together here. But I'm not doing it. I'm not pulling it apart piece by piece like that. These readings, if you watch them once and you can put them directly into your life and then come back and watch them again so that you can add your religious or your relationship kind of to it, that's a good way to do it, because we do have to start with ourselves, right? We do. It's important to watch readings like this and acknowledge, okay, how do I acknowledge and fix myself first before I just watch a reading and then try to fix the other person within the reading, right? We start with self, guys. We can only fix ourselves. This anxiety, though, to me is very much this showing up to who you are authentically, the King of Wands, and then the clarity behind that, the understanding and the knowing of what you're about to do here. The actions. Okay. Cornucopia was the shadow, and I just feel like your anxieties are almost this worry about, is this going to come? Is there going to be fulfillment here? Is there going to be happiness? Is there going to be sustainability? There's a beautiful little butterfly there. Is there going to be transformation? Yeah, look at this. The Six of Wands and the Six of Cups, It's almost this like, is there going to be this connection? And the Six of Cups can be talking about soulmate kind of connections here. Twin flames too, but I'm really trying to get away from talking about twin flames, just because I almost feel like there's so much emphasis put on twin flames, and people are like, oh, that's my twin flame. But the real acknowledgement and the real journey of a twin flame is to actually open yourself up to the need for spirituality. It's not just necessarily based on that relationship connection. It's much bigger than that. A twin flame connection is here to spark your need for spiritual growth, to spark your need for authentic growth, okay? So to me, this cornucopia is almost like this fear, as a shadow energy. It's this fear of, is there going to be this kind of connection? Is there going to be, this happiness and this rejoicing within whatever this, kind of soulmate connection is here, okay? And I get it, Tauruses. There is a lot of, I'm not going to lie. I'm not one who, I love self-growth readings. So I'm not one who directly, again, always associates so much to the romance side of it. But you guys, again, this is probably like your third month in a row we're pounding out romance here. Okay, so the shadow energy, is there going to be this happiness? Is there going to be this fulfillment? Is this going to change? Is this going to be something that's actually fulfilling to me? And look at here, the light that was needed to embrace that shadow energy was the patience. You have to allow spirit to, align the stars, kind of, right? Like, you have to allow things to unfold in their time, because if we rush things, then the people that we are wanting to meet up with in our path, the people we're wanting to connect with, if we make all the shortcuts and they don't, you won't meet them on the path anyway, right? You have to allow spirit, and that's a part of faith. That's a huge part of this. It's the faith, right? These guys are so solid. Like, they're both just standing there so patiently, They're not worried. They don't have this anxiety about whether or not this is going to happen and what time frame this is going to happen, okay? They just allow the patience and it to unfold the way it needs to, okay? The Five of Swords, the Five of Swords is talking about, the Five of Swords and the Magician. Okay, look at that. The patience and the Five of Swords. That's talking about the conflict. It's talking about the tension. It's talking about maybe not, again, that anxiety, but that worried kind of thinking. That repetitive negative kind of thinking here, fearing it. You have the power here to change this. The power is within your hands. to change your thinking, to change your negative thought patterns. And that's not an easy thing to do. I acknowledge that, okay? But it's needed. Because in order to actually come together in any sort of relationship and any sort of, commitment to another soul, you have to acknowledge first where your patterns of self-harm and self-thinking come from. Okay? It takes time for us to grow. It takes time for us, we can't walk out of one thing and walk into the next and think that we are going to be healed or changed or those cycles have completed. No, you haven't healed or completed shit, right? You just moved on to the next one. Those cycles are going to continue and to complete those cycles are going to continue, and repeat if we don't acknowledge them for what they are. If we don't take our power here and say, nope, no more. I'm not feeding that kind of negative thinking anymore. I'm changing my patterns here. Okay? I'm changing my ways. It's the acknowledgement and then the actual steps to change it. Okay? The self-liberation and the lovers. It's understanding that in order to have this duality and understanding that in order to have a solid kind of love connection, you have to show up for yourself and truly to yourself. Okay? Not a fake facade. You need to show up truly here for yourself, okay? Because only you have the power to change this negative thinking. Only you have the power here to bring yourself forward. And only after you embrace yourself will you actually be able to go into the lover's state with with the energy of duality. Because lovers, we must acknowledge that it is not a one-sided thing. In order for the lovers to actually, go forward and be what it is supposed to be in life, there has to be the duality. You have to come into it as a healed being. You have to be whole within yourself. Both parties in the lovers come together whole. And together, their wholeness creates even a bigger wholeness. Okay, they're not halves coming in here, and that's one thing that I got stuck with for a long time thinking about twin flames. It's the other half of me, it's the other half of my soul. No, my soul is whole within its own. That's why it has its own divine feminine and its own divine masculine. My soul is whole. My twin flame connection is something that was created from two whole beings that came together and decided to spark a connection. Okay, and I don't know how that works. I really don't, but I was whole on my own, I was whole in order to embrace a union of any sort of, solid twin flame or soulmate, connection. We have to come in whole in our own, okay? All right, let's get into the divine feminine energy. So the divine feminine is not talking about the females here, okay? This is talking about your divine feminine side of you. That is your inner knowing. That is your inner guidance. That is our divine feminine sides. Our divine masculines are the actions that we show up into our lives. And our divine feminines are our spiritual sides. Those are our spiritual guidance, okay? And yours was the healer of ages. The Lord. And I just went on quite the tangent in the Libra video here about the connection to the Lord. And how, the Lord's love does not fit in a religious box. It doesn't. I grew up in a religious background, yes, but my spirituality and my growth, my love for the Lord and my gratefulness for his son that he sent here to die for my sins, I acknowledge that. But, and I appreciate that for all that it is. I really do. But there are parts of religion. There are parts of the ego of religion that I cannot get on board with. I cannot fit in that religious box because to me, my Lord is much greater than the religious box here or the ego of the religious box. Does that make any sense? Our divine feminine side, that inner knowing though, is almost this connection here. Look at that. The 9 of Cups. Okay. There is fulfillment here. And, and if we would allow our intuition really to connect to the higher, if we would allow our intuition to connect to the Lord, whether that fits in a religious kind of box or whether that fits in just your spiritual box, right? Your spirituality, who that is to you. That's what this is. That's self-awareness. That's self-fulfillment, and that is coming to the Lord and understanding what that is in your world, in your heart, not in some limiting kind of beliefs of the box of religion, okay? This is how that reflects deeply in your soul. Okay, and it's important to look into that, as much as it's important to embrace this journey of self-growth and to embrace, our journeys of self-awakening. It is important to open our eyes and to open our hearts to the higher that gave us the opportunity to do so. Okay, the higher that gave us the opportunity here for the free will, so that we can go about our days and live our lives in the ways that we choose to. And whether we choose to by choice or we choose to by not making choices, okay? The choice is still ours. We just don't get to go through life and not have a say in it, right? It's when we don't say things that life goes, we have to actually take the power there to actually say, wait a minute, no, my life's not going this way, right? Okay, the divine masculine energy here, the action side of the energy was the door to romance. Look at that. The Three of Wands, the Chariot, and the Page of Wands. You see, and this door to romance, look at again how much that comes through. It's almost like there is just this, this door of this caring connection here. It is something solid, okay? It is this, whether this is a romantic relationship in your life or whether it's just some sort of, solid friend within your life, somebody who's really guiding you here. But this connection here is really pushing you to open up to your spirituality. This connection here is really pushing you to embrace this new direction of your spiritual growth, of how that looks and what that looks like in your future. Taking the reins here and changing that direction, in an actual divine direction here, okay? It's opening yourself up to who you are actually meant to be. Not somebody that society or your past life has triggered you to be or set limits for you to be. This is, in order to go forward and embrace this door to romance, it is really calling you to take the reins of your life and embrace the person that you truly are. To show up to that spiritual being that you truly are, because that's who you need to walk through that door to romance to be. If you're looking for that true kind of connection on the other side of it, if you're looking for your soulmate or your twin flame, do you not think you would have to show up to yourself authentically to be able to find that person? Right? If you're selling yourself short in these doors to romance and you're not showing up to your true person or as your true person, how are you going to connect with somebody on the other side that is actually meant to connect to you, right? You see how that works? Because we have to, if we're opening ourselves up to, we want these, we want this once in a lifetime kind of love, or we want this, true love kind of thing. And remember, true love and once in a lifetime love, that's not like Cinderella fairy tales, okay? True love is something. It's not a fairy tale, but it's something. Okay? But we still, no matter which way, if we are open-heartedly wanting to move actually into this door to romance, then we actually truly have to embrace who it is that we are showing up to be within that door, right? We have to embrace ourselves. We have to show up and embrace our authentic beings, and somebody who acknowledges the need for a higher. Because then we are able to actually, not only love ourselves, but, love others as the Lord loves us. That's why it is so important to connect to a divine, because our humanly forms are not able to actually display love the way the Lord can. We have to open ourselves up and be the vessel to allow that love to actually kind of roll through our lives, right? All right, the action needed here, look, was the door to value and the heart chakra. And the door to value, funny enough, it keeps coming out in these monthly zodiac reads. And I find that it's coming out a lot because it's almost that need to address that door to value. And what was that door to value, or what is that door to value to you? Is it a doorway that just has, the money and the coins and the materialistic things pouring out of it, or is it a door to value that is something of the heart? Okay? Because the materialistic aspects of your life, at the end of it, you'll still be empty. Your soul's going to be empty. Materialistic aspects of life do not fill our souls. Okay? The Tower. There is a need here for something to crumble. Yep, Tower, the Queen of Cups. And the Ten of Cups. Yep. There's this need here to actually walk away from some sort of low vibration energy. Okay? To let whatever needs to crumble, crumble. Okay, those are the actions required. And the Tower moment is going to be a destructive thing that needs to come down in your life in whatever situation. It's a general reading, so put it where it applies, right? But like the Tower moments can be thought patterns. It can be cycles, it can be relationships, it can be just things in our lives that we acknowledge have to come down. They have to change here. Whatever this door to value is, if you're going forward, if you're walking through this door to value of something of heart value, okay? Something that actually means something here to you. There is a need here to drop the shit of the past. There is a need here to make sure that when you go through this doorway, you are carrying nothing of what this Tower moment is representing. Okay, there is a need here for you to crumble your shit so that you can go forward through this door to value following your heart, not following your ego. You are soul-led, not ego-led. Okay, the Tower, look, the Tower, she's soul-led, and then the Queen of Cups. And she's very much like the High Priestess. She connects on such a deep level, and we must. We must allow ourselves to connect spiritually on a deeper level so that we have that faith. So we have the faith that we are able to actually go forward and keep moving ourselves and, and embracing what is for us. Trusting and having faith in what is for us. We have to let go of the things that we cannot control. We have to let go of our anxieties. We have to let go of our worries. We have to let go of our doubts. Okay, and then we have to follow our love in our hearts. We have to follow this faith, this kind of deep faith. Because that is where the fulfillment is. That is where the everlasting happiness is. Okay, that is where you sit on the rainbow with all 10 cups, right? When we can open ourselves up to the peace that comes with love. And look at this card. This is one of the, and to me, I say this, I said this in the Libra reading, I believe, but there are certain things of the box of religion that I just don't fit in with, and this card kind of depicts that for me. Okay? You cannot tell me that on the rainbow, sitting here, the Lord loves these souls any less than he loves mine and my male boyfriend, right? You see, there is fulfillment for everybody. The Lord does not pick and choose. He never picked and chose. He sent his son and said, I will love you all. Every last one of you, no matter what you have done in this life. No matter the soul that you showed up to be. You're going to tell me that he doesn't acknowledge that? He doesn't acknowledge the soul contract that, you have? Or the soulmate contracts that you have on this earth before? He didn't just mess that up. He didn't go, oh shit, I messed that one up. Those are two girls. They're going to have a tough time. No, not at all. You are my children, show love. That's what the Lord says. You are my children, show love. There is no box in this earth that can contain the Lord's love. The advice here, go beyond your security. Go beyond your garden, okay? Don't allow your fears and your anxieties and your doubts to keep you locked and caged in this garden. Look at those butterflies. Time to transform. Time to transform. Yep, the sun and the moon. The advice, the sun and the moon. Look at that. Because the sun shines bright through the day and the moon shines bright through the night. And you need both. You need the action and you need the spiritual side of life. You need the sun and the moon in the life to go forward. You need the action and the fire life in your life, and you need the faith and the intuition. Don't be afraid to go through the gate with these. Don't be afraid to go through the gate balanced, carrying both your action and both your spirituality. Have faith. Have faith. And unlock that gate and get out there, baby. You are a balanced being. Sun and the moon. You have to go forward as a balanced being. Take your actions and your spirituality with you. They're both needed. Look at here, the lesson here, and I love this lesson. The lesson here was the temple path and the appreciation. The temple path is that need for self-awakening. It's that need for connection to the divine. You know, the temple path is a spot that only you and the Lord sit. This is your place inside your soul. You know? And the appreciation behind it is because this girl is standing in this garden. She's got her dress is ripped from the thorns, and, you know, and she even has a bloody finger, right? Because the thorns have pricked her. But this flower is beautiful, and she appreciates that. She appreciates the flower, and she appreciates the sunlight coming in. And just from the appreciation of that simple flower, it blooms more flowers and more flowers and more flowers. Temple path here, the lesson. The Knight of Swords and the Seven of Wands. There's movement here, and Spirit's guiding you. Spirit is really guiding you to this place of strength, to this place of inner light, the Seven of Wands. Okay? The Seven of Wands is let your little light shine, baby. Don't worry about the negativity. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about all of the bullshit that is surrounding you. Center yourself in this. Center yourself in your faith. Center yourself in your connection. Because then it's not going to matter what happens in the world around you. You know you are going forward, listening to your intuition, following your spiritual guidance, moving forward here, right? Trusting the Lord, trusting the guidance, okay? You can appreciate the signs, you can appreciate the roses, and you can appreciate the journey that He is saying, this way, follow me. The connection to the High Priestess. You can appreciate this ability to see on both sides of the veil. To acknowledge that there is a need for both light and darkness in our lives. And that they both play an important part on who and shaping us, who we become. Whether we allow the darkness to lead, or we allow ourselves to acknowledge the darkness and lead with the light. The High Priestess is that need to connect, though. The High Priestess, again, is that need to connect to a divine. It is that need to connect to the Lord, to the higher. All right, angels and ancestors are our last oracle deck here for the Tauruses. Angels and ancestors. Angels and ancestors for the Taurus. What a beautiful reading, Tauruses. Oh, that's a lot. We're not taking all those. Okay, we'll take that one. The eagle, see from a higher perspective. Isn't that beautiful? And trust your instincts. The eagle, see from a higher perspective. I love this one. I'm going to read it. I am. I just got to find it first, guys, okay? Eagle, found you. Where'd you go? Eagle. Oh, I love eagles. Look at things from a different angle. Fly higher and see new possibilities. Eagle medicine swirls around you, encouraging you to recognize your views and visions may be limited at this time. There is a chance that your own desperation or ego could be blocking you from seeing the potential in your current situation. If there are others involved, you are being guided to see things from everyone's perspective. If you are feeling the need for something to change, how can you take the higher road? Know that if you have intentions that aren't for the highest good, it will only hold you back. Eagle medicine can help you change things. Eagle medicine can help you change this. The eagle brings the energy of healing and love directly from the heart of the Father Sky and invites you to do all things from a place of love. Right? Did you hear that? The eagle brings the energy of healing and love directly from the heart of Father Sky and invites you to do all things from a place of love. All right, Tauruses. Wow, what a beautiful reading. Again, I am just, I'm so blown away by all of these beautiful growth messages that are just coming from Spirit lately, you know. And for so long, this is a little off topic, but for so long, this Healer of Ages, you know, it has been a journey of mine because so many people are not open to that. And I understand that, you know, the limitations and the boundaries and the box that, you know, that humankind put in religion and then tried to stick the Lord in. It has hurt and broken so many other people's hearts. And the Lord is like, I am beyond the box. You have to tell people that, right? For a bit, it's been something that I've poked around, you know. I maybe haven't honestly spit it out as well as I could. The Lord loves you and he doesn't fit in a box, guys, so fuck the people who told you that he did. There's my religion for you. All right, Tauruses, what a beautiful reading. Until next time, I encourage you greatly to go and check out the Embrace Your Awakening series. There's actually a playlist. I'll maybe link the playlist to this. I encourage you to look into that series. It's a beautiful series. If you like this video, please hit the like button, maybe share it, subscribe. That would be awesome. All right, guys, until next time, take great care of yourselves. Bye now.